Hey everybody, it's another beautiful day in eastern Kentucky today. Today is part 2 of the rooster comb injections. Now I had part 1 and I intended to do a part 2 after about a week. Well, after the ways my knees felt, I thought maybe I better wait to see how things were. Now they tell you once you get your shots that 24 hours you can do your normal thing, but take it kind of easy for about 24 hours. Well, let's just say I didn't do that, and so I probably done something I shouldn't have done. So for the third and fourth day, uh, they really hurt me really, really bad, and it wasn't because of the shots or anything, because uh, the shots was okay. Uh, Again, in my part 1, I mentioned to you that they had some side effects like nausea, dizziness, things like that, and several other side effects: redness, bruising, swelling. Well, after the shots, they really wasn't any bruising, and that kind of surprised me too, because I'm on blood thinner, so. And the only bleeding there was right after the shots, and it didn't bleed very long. So uh, everything was good. There was a little bit of swelling. Yeah, there was, and they told me that I could put some ice on it and take care of that. But they wasn't enough to be concerned with, so I didn't do that. So all that being said, uh, would I recommend the rooster comb shots over cortisone shots? Well, absolutely, I would. And my knees right now, it's I guess a month later, but after uh, after these shots, my knees are probably 65% better. As far as going up and down stairs, I can do that a little better, but I don't push myself into doing more than I should. Going up and down ladders, haven't tried it, but I think I could go up and down ladders maybe 2 or 3 times because of the way they feel right now, without a whole lot of pain. I mean, I can get up it and get down it, but I'm talking about without a whole lot of pain. Used to putting on my clothes, my pants, my shoes, my socks. I've had to have my son help me tie my shoes uh, because it hurt so bad. Putting my shoes on was just, I mean, unbelievable. Uh, but anyway, I don't have no problem with that. Getting up of a morning, that's a whole lot better. Being able to sleep at night without as much pain. If I would say my pain level before I had these shots, even with the cortisone shots, uh, before I had these rooster comb shots, I could sit in the vehicle and my knees would just absolutely, I mean, hurt. Um, I mean, pretty bad too. Walking, standing, sitting, laying, it didn't make any difference. I mean, it hurt all the time. And after about 2 years, if you can probably see right there is a handle of a push mower. I've got 2 of them in here. Um, uh, I've done that, and then it would take me all weekend or 3 or 4 days to try to get over just mowing my own yard. Uh, but I can do that a lot better now. I can mow, and my wife and I we've taken walks at the down here at the lake, and but still, I mean, it hurts, but nothing like it did. It's mostly right around my kneecap, and where I've given into the pain so much and limped. I've noticed that now my uh, muscles uh, that I didn't work. I'm starting to work, so I'm feeling more pain in the muscles where I'm working the muscles. But I'm not worried about that because that'll come out of it more I keep doing. But yes, definitely rooster comb shots. Now I've read and I heard a doctor. I believe he was from London, but I'm not really sure. London, Kentucky. But I'm not really sure that's where he's from. Um, but he was talking about these rooster comb shots and what they do and how they work. Now, let me say this: if you're going to go have rooster comb shots, um, tell your doctor about any kind of medication you take that you have allergies or whatever. Um, be sure to do that, and be sure to tell them if you're on blood thinners. I don't care what kind of blood thinners you're taking. Make sure that you tell them that you're on blood thinners. Um, so anyway, this doctor was uh, talking, and he was giving the kind of rundown on it, and I was listening to him because I was looking to see what all alternatives I had uh, with taking these shots for arthritis. Now my knees have got arthritis; they're bone on bone, and they've been that way for years. I've taken cortisone shots for the last year. They don't do anything what the doctor says they're going to do. They don't. For me, now, let me just say that for me. And even these rooster comb shots. I mean, I've heard people say, I've looked this stuff on the internet. I've heard people say that after the first shot, they was real good. They didn't have no pain. Well, here it is a month later. It's a month. It was a month yesterday, and I can't say that because I'm still in a lot of pain, but I am a whole lot better. Uh, but with the cortisone shots, they just it didn't do what they said. They said it was going to have a numbing effect, and you'll be doing backflips down the hallway, and you'll be doing all this stuff. No, no. Now, if it works for you, it works for you. But I'm suggesting take the rooster comb shots. That's what I'd suggest. But anyway, I was listening to this doctor, and he was talking, and he mentioned, and not only him, but I read others on the internet about this. Well, they mentioned my doctor mentioned this to me. Well, the doctor that gave me the last cortisone shots mentioned that about the rooster comb, and I didn't think he was serious. I didn't. But anyway, uh, so because I never heard of it. So anyway, after reading about it and studying more on it, this doctor that I was listening to on the internet um, said they give 3 to 5 shots of this stuff, one per week to 3 to 5 weeks. Well, when I went in to get my shots for rooster comb, they gave me one shot, and they said it would last 6 months. Now this stuff that they extract from the rooster comb and they put in your knees, um, it's something that your body normally makes. So it's supposed to help your body, I guess, reproduce the fluids or whatever it's called uh, back in your joints. And so I'd say the next thing I'm gonna do is have it in my hands because I can't play my music like I used to because I've got arthritis in my hands too. So maybe I'm gonna try to get that in my hands too. But I would suggest the rooster comb injections. They've done really good, and I know some of you guys have been waiting for me to get part two. So this is part two. But I've watched about all the ones that I've watched on YouTube where people went in to get the shots. Uh, that's all that you heard about it. Uh, they wouldn't come back and tell you the results or what happened. They would tell you that they had the shots and it didn't hurt very much or it stung or the effects of it later as far as the swelling or hurting or whatever. But they wouldn't the ones I've watched, but they wouldn't have a part two. So I figured, well, I'm going to go have this done, and I want to put on there for people to know that that there's later on down the road how my knees feel. So I'm scheduled to go back in February to have another shot. My knees continually get better, but it's kind of a slower process. And so when I went in there, and I also suggest if you're going to get these injections, that you have them do an ultrasound. If they don't do an ultrasound, I'd be real skeptical about who's doing this work. Because with all the study that I done, even the doctor that gave me, I had a doctor and an intern that done this, and they done the ultrasound, and I sat there and watched them. I see they look for where they're going to inject this fluid, and so I watched them use the needle. I watched them put the injections in my knees and where it went, and it's really kind of cool. It was really quick. It didn't take hardly any time at all, and I thought, well, I got an hour drive to get back home, and I had to drive through a lot of traffic downtown uh, where I went to, and I thought, and I have driving a standard shift car. I was kind of concerned about that too. I didn't drive the OF1 sickly. I'm in today. I was driving my car, and I thought, well, I don't know how this is going to affect me because um, people tells these big scary tales. Oh, I got the shots from my knees and I couldn't walk. Well, anyway, but yeah, that didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. Like I say, it felt like a bee sting, and that's about it. Uh, it took a little bit longer to get the shot. I mean, we're talking a matter of minutes for both of them. It just didn't take long. And I was kind of joking with the doctor. I said, well, that's kind of disappointing, I thought it was going to be more than that. But anyway, they was trying to find the spot in my left knee, a better spot to put it in. Yeah, which didn't take long. I mean, still. But if they don't do an ultrasound, I suggest you don't get the shot, seriously, because in my opinion, and everything I've read and what I've talked about with the doctors, what we've discussed, is it's not a good idea. They need to know where they're putting it at. I mean, just guessing at this stuff don't work. I mean, that's like my poor old F1 sickly right here. Everybody I've taken it to, they've guessed what might be wrong with it, and nobody has still told me what's wrong with it. So, anyway, yes, I would get the Rooster comb injections, and so that's the thing that I would do because I did. And I want to come back a little later on and do a part 3. And folks, if y'all gonna do this stuff, and you're gonna put this on YouTube, do everybody a favor, because this is an educational thing. This if they're looking and searching for something that's going to help them, and they talk about their experience, they go and I wanted to take my camera in there, but where I went, I really don't think they wanted cameras in there. And it probably, I didn't ask them, and I didn't feel comfortable about doing it. I mean, not because of showing it or anything. It's just because of where I was. I don't know. It's just me, I guess. But yes, I suggested that if you're going to do a part 1 and tell folks, I've seen these where they went in and they had their camera with them, and they filmed the whole thing, and it would have been kind of cool to do that. And maybe next time I will. I'm going to ask them. I just didn't feel comfortable with it because of where I was at. But I'm going to ask them next time if it'd be okay. So, we could have another part on that. But if you're going to do this and you're going to go have your shots, I think you should do a follow-up video and tell people, this is what happened a month later, 2 months later. Like I say, within the 48 hours I was doing the video, But I just done something. I went magnet fishing uh, on the third day, and I had to go down this real steep ramp. Well, if you all knew how bad my knees was, anyway, I probably shouldn't even been there to start with. But anyway, I went down this real steep ramp, and I stood for quite a while on a dock magnet fishing. So I came back up, and it was I walked sideways. I tried to walk backwards, forwards, just to get back up it. It is. I stopped 2 or 3 times, and it's not, the length of the boat ramps is not that long, but it's because they just hurt me. Not because of the shots. It was just simply because of the arthritis in my knees is just bone on bone. And first of all, they gave me some stuff to rub on my knees. I call it red peppers and pixie dust. I mean, if your knees is bone on bone, and they give you something to rub on your knees, they're wasting your time and theirs too. I mean, that's ridiculous. So again, if they give you the option, and I wouldn't even wait for an option, I just tell them to start with that you want the Rooster comb injection. Now, cortisone may work for some people. That's steroids. That's not good. Steroids is not good, especially continual shots. I took 4 shots in a little over a year, about 4 months. I took 4 of them, 3 or 4 months apart, so it took a little over a year to take them because I was waiting 4 months and some. But and they said, once the cortisone shots stopped working, then they would do something else, and that's how we got into the conversation about the Rooster comb. And I just told them, I said, it don't work. I mean, you all tell me that I'm gonna feel like a new man and do backflips and all this stuff, and numbing effect and how all this works. No, because I would say 30 to 40% was all better that stuff would do. And this was during the whole year taking all them shots. And then it got to the point where it just wouldn't, it just wouldn't work at all. The only relief I got was from the sting that they put in my knee, because I felt the sting, It kind of a little bit better than the pain was in my knee just for that little short while, but kind of took my mind off the other. But right now, everything seems to be centered right around my kneecap, and especially right on the inside of my knees. And I have swelling in the back of my knee, but it's because, again, that's just kind of reading from things on the internet. I get puffiness and swelling in the back of my knee, and it gets stiff. I think it's fluid built up, and that's because the injuries to my knee due to the arthritis. So I've started putting ice behind my knee, or getting it where I can ice my back of my knees down, and then the next morning that's gone. But as I go again during the day, then that fluid starts building back up behind my legs. So again, I had to ice it, but it's not because of the shots or anything like that. It's because of the injury that this arthritis has caused. I mean, it's I feel sorry for anybody that hasn't. My dad had arthritis so bad it actually turned his fingers almost backwards, and I've I've never seen anything like it since, and I don't know how the man stood it, but he's a tough old bird. But anyway, just wanted to say, to sum everything up, a month later, my knees are 65% better, and I'm just waiting for the day that they get 100%. I don't know that they will, because it's gone a long time before I ever really started doing anything about my knees, because they really didn't give me what I needed when I needed it. So, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't have anything against doctors or anything like that, but a lot of times they won't listen to what you're telling them, And then here it is. Here it is years later, and we're just right now getting to it. So uh, anyway, I am thankful that I got these shots. I really am. I mean, you have no idea how thankful I am. But we're gonna call it a day, and this is part 2 of Rooster Comb Injections. And let's go do a little magnet fishing, and everybody have a good day.